Good evening. Welcome to your Kingdom Come. As I had said last night, if you've been following along in this channel and you've been following along in our coverage of Ecclesiastes, the goal was to get through 5 and 6 today. We did 1 and 2 the other night, 3 and 4 yesterday, and then 5 and 6 today. In those coverages, I try to give you a little context and background, and I'll do that real brief here as well. So, Ecclesiastes, it sounds like a big fancy word, and if you break it down, it just means Kohelet in the Hebrew, which means the teacher slash preacher, interchangeably, either the teacher or the preacher. And I do want to specify that on this video because you're going to see he does some real good teaching, especially early on in this chapter of chapter 5. And he really breaks some things down with a level of wisdom that why he was who he was and why he was one of the greatest kings, if not the greatest king of all time. And the wealth, wisdom, and everything he amassed was just a whole nother level than what the average person ever could even come close to, even today, surprisingly. So let's get right into it. Again, this is King Solomon's writing, Ecclesiastes Kohelet in the Hebrew, meaning the teacher or preacher. Approaching God with care. As you enter the house of God, keep your ears open and your mouth shut. It is evil to make mindless offerings to God. So when he talks about the house of God, the sanctuary of God, like I had covered in the first two videos, King Solomon is noted for building the first holy temple in Jerusalem. This is that house of God he's referencing to. Now again, on a much deeper level, you can approach the presence of God where you're at as we speak. But he's referencing that because if you read the next sentence, it is evil to make mindless offerings. That word offerings, I won't go too in depth because this is not the purpose of this channel, but that means korbanot, what a lot of people translate as sacrifices. You would bring offerings to the temple for multiple reasons, covered in the book of Leviticus, the first couple chapters. And what it would be is you were bringing those korbanot to draw near to God, near to your Creator, and you would bring them. And what he's saying, don't bring them mindlessly. So again, how you can relate that today is don't have your religion in vain. Don't have it just this repetition and this robotic form of worship and praise and understanding. So he says, no, you need to be mindful of what you're doing, know what you're doing, and be truly have your heart into it with your Creator. And he also says, don't make rash promises and don't be hasty in bringing matters before God. After all, God is in heaven and you are here on earth. So let your words be few. That's a caution to those who try to approach the throne of God in their prayer life and ask him with the wrong either motive or for the wrong things. Now, of course, God will fulfill your needs, but those wants and those things, if you're using God like a genie in a bottle, you're missing the point entirely. Too much activity gives you restless dreams. Too many words makes you a fool. Pick your words. Be careful what you say, right? When you make a promise to God, don't delay in following through, for God takes no pleasure in fools. Keep all the promises you make to him. So you see how when we talk about Ecclesiastes Kohelet, the teacher, you see how naturally this man had the gift of teaching, and even in a time where he's really battling two schools of thought in his mind, where he fell away. Early on, he was very on fire. He loved our Creator, loved our Father in heaven. He fell into the trap of success, wealth, and women, and he was led astray to worshiping idols, and his judgment got clouded. And you can see that on these pages, but he still has this gift that God had blessed him with, this ability to teach and break down what God's intent is for mankind. And he also says, don't let your mouth make you sin. And don't defend yourself by telling the temple messenger that the promise you made was a mistake. That would make God angry, and he might wipe out everything you have achieved. Wouldn't that be a sad state? All the things you've done, working for the kingdom, to just throw it away for a useless, mindless, mundane, religious, ritualistic habit. Talk is cheap, like daydreams and other useless activities. Fear God instead. The futility of wealth. Don't be surprised if you see a poor person being oppressed by the powerful, and if justice is being miscarried throughout the land. For every official is under orders from higher up, and matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy. Even the king milks the land for his own profit. So what he's explaining there very simply is that everyone is corrupt. All the people from up top down that are taking orders have a corruption in their heart, because if they stood for something, they wouldn't oppress the oppressed, if that makes sense. Those who love money will never have enough. How meaningless to think that wealth brings true happiness. Chasten. The more you have, the more people come to help you spend it. So what good is wealth, except perhaps to watch it slip through your fingers? People who work very hard sleep well, whether they eat little or much, but the rich seldom get a good night's sleep. There is another serious problem I have under the sun. Hoarding riches harms the saver. Money is put into risky investments that turn sour and everything is lost. In the end, there is nothing left to pass on to one's children. I mean, you can read these and put them into 2021 as we speak, and this is written thousands of years ago. If you can't see the authenticity of the Word of God, the Scriptures, the Holy Scriptures, just in these words, and see how they're timeless, you can only say that there's one Spirit, the timeless one, that can put this on ink through these people as vessels. I hope you can see that being revealed. We all come to the end of our lives as naked and empty-handed as on the day we were born. We can't take our riches with us. No U-Haul behind a hearse. We've heard that before. The pharaohs, the pyramids, all that wealth in them coffins, still there. And this, too, is a very serious problem. People leave this world no better off than when they came. All their hard work is for nothing, like working for the wind. Living life without a purpose. Not in your Creator, your Father's will, not having that relationship to know what are you supposed to be doing today. Your mission may not be my mission. Same kingdom, same end state, like I said last night, but a whole different gift and a whole different objective. Like many pieces in a car, a body, anything you look at, many pieces making it up. All have separate functions, but all make up one. Throughout their lives, they live under a cloud, frustrated, discouraged, and angry, living life with no purpose. This is the three things: frustrated, discouraged, and angry. Even so, I have noticed one thing at least that is good. It is good for people to eat, drink, and enjoy their work under the sun during the short life God has given them, and to accept their lot in life. And it is good, a good thing to receive wealth from God, and the good health to enjoy it, to enjoy your work and accept your lot in life. This indeed is a gift from God, being content in all things, whether you have small amount, much, or it doesn't matter. At this point, are you content and are you thankful for what you have in the moment? God keeps such people so busy enjoying life that they take no time to brood over the past. So you're not looking in the rear view. Today is today. Tomorrow will have its own problems. But you're looking at the current moment and you're being thankful and content in just the breath. Just having warmth, the basic necessities in life, whatever it is, that peace and calmness that only can come from the Spirit of the living God. So we'll look at Ecclesiastes 6. There is another serious tragedy I've seen under the sun, and it weighs heavily on humanity. God gives some people great wealth and honor and everything they could ever want, but then he doesn't give them the chance to enjoy these things. They die, and someone else, even a stranger, ends up enjoying their wealth. This is meaningless, a sickening tragedy. A man might have 100 children and live to be very old, but if he finds no satisfaction in life and doesn't even get a decent burial, it would have been better for him to be born dead. His birth would have been meaningless, and he would have ended in darkness. He wouldn't even have a name, and he would never even have seen the sun or known of its existence. Yet he would have had more peace than in growing up to be an unhappy man. How sad, how tragic. To go through life and just the rat race, I say, chasing, and then you finally feel like you made it to the pinnacle, you die, your child takes over, never appreciate the labor and hard work and blows it in a month, a minute, a day, an hour. And how heartbreaking is that? And then your memory isn't even blessed because they move on with the next thing and the next thing. It's very, very tragic. He might live 1,000 years twice, but still not find contentment. And since he must die like everyone else, well, what's the use? All people spend their lives scratching for food, but they never seem to have enough. So are wise people really better off than fools? Do people gain anything by being wise and knowing how to act in front of others? Enjoy what you have rather than desiring what you don't have. Just dreaming about nice things is meaningless, again, like chasing the wind. The future determined and unknown. Everything has already been decided. It was long ago what each person would be. So there's no use arguing with God about your destiny. I mean, that verse, if you don't take anything from chapter 5 and 6, I'm going to have to repeat that. Everything has already been decided. So all of you that are playing games, all of you that are picking sides and thinking you're going to make this great change through your physicality, your strength, your might, your weapons, please read that first sentence again. Everything has already been decided. It was long ago what each person would be. So there's no use arguing with God about your destiny. So it's almost like you can watch the Super Bowl or any sports event and you know the final score. So then why are you arguing and complaining in the third quarter or second quarter or beginning of the match when it looks like things are getting hairy if you've been in this word and you know the destiny of mankind? You know your destiny as a true kingdom person, a kingdom citizen, and you know what you need to go out and do? What exactly are you arguing and fighting about? The more words you speak, the less they mean. So what good are they? Pick your words. Be intelligent when you have a conversation. I mean, this is basic 101 that sadly, today especially, it seems like we're all missing at times. In the few days of our meaningless life, who knows how our days can be spent, can be best spent. Our lives are like a shadow. Who can tell them what will happen on this earth after we are gone? So again, you can almost see the first 4 chapters, he's in a really sad depression, but you're almost seeing the book turn a little bit. You notice how he opens up 5 with reverence, and again, reverence and awe for his creator, for God, for his Father in heaven. And then he goes back again, a little bit of bouncing, where he's bouncing back and forth, where he's struggling with this as well. So I want you to see this dichotomy. What I want you to see is this inner struggle he's dealing with as he's pouring his heart out on these pages that was preserved for us by our wonderful creator to help us in our day-to-day, in our struggle, to get balance and perspective. So what I would just say before I close out is get on that path, get alone with your creator, bow down, ask him to reveal to you what your purpose in life is and what plan and destiny he has chosen for you, and just be willing to go all out and just dig up everything you have to get to that truth. So I just want to continue to encourage you with that. And again, as I close every night, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. In the name of our great and mighty Creator. Peace.